Hey everybody, Dr. Leverins here. We're going to be talking about an excerpt today from Ludwig's Tango, all right, by Richard Meyer. Richard Meyer, great composer, has some great stuff out there for orchestras. So in our key signature, we have 1 sharp, that's our F sharp. So always mind, we're a 4 on the D string to get that F sharp. We have a C natural. We only have that 1 sharp, so C is natural, so when we're on the A string, we gotta make sure we're using our 2, all right? I'm gonna play through this, and then we'll talk about some of the intricacies of it. All right, so inside of here, dynamics and articulations are huge, right? We want to make sure we're starting piano, and it's not just a piano, it's a very delicate sort of piano because we have staccatos. So we have the short quarters to start, and then we get these accents on beat 4. So we need to bring those out, right? They should pop out of the texture, right? So I'm looking at this, I'm starting right at the beginning, and I want to make sure it's nice and light, big, nice and light, big. Just a little bit more speed and pressure on that string to make the accent pop right there on the end of 4. Another thing, we have dynamics and a crescendo. So from the beginning, we'll measure 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th measure, we have a crescendo to forte. Bring that out as much as you can. I'll start measure 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm down bow here. Bringing out that crescendo, musicality, dynamic markings, adhering to those. We also have a sudden dynamic change, right? The measure before 14, at the beginning of it, we're forte for those 2 quarter notes. And then we come back in where it says soli with a mezzo piano. A big contrast here is what we're looking for, right? We want to bring that out as much as possible. So measure 13, forte to mezzo piano. We have a contrast, not only of dynamics, but of style. In the beginning, we're very light on our feet. It's a tango, so we need to be light on our feet. We're thinking of a dance. But suddenly at 14, we don't have this rhythmic idea. We have a bit of a melody, right? So now we need to bring out more of the legato sound, more of the lyrical sounding motive of this piece, right? So we go from the staccato to nice and long like we're singing. And it's a mezzo piano. Make it sing. This is lyrical. It's a nice solo moment. So it needs to contrast from before where we were the rhythmic driving machine of the dance band, right? Suddenly at 14, we're the singing voice in the dance band. Different characters. We're playing both of them, and it's changing back and forth throughout this piece. We start as the groove machine, we end up as the singer, all right? So bringing that out with our bow stroke, we're no longer doing the staccato, we're doing more legato, more vocally oriented is what we want to go for here. Also here, once we get to 14, we have more offbeats, right? We're 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So we need to be subdividing in there, making sure we especially do not hold the half note tied to the eighth note a little bit too long, right? We need to have that metronome going in our head. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Counting to yourself, reading the rhythms, and then performing the rhythms are going to help you out a lot here. Also inside of this 14, looking at measure 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, measure 18, we are crescendoing. Bring that crescendo out, right? We want to get the volume up because we're getting to a big climactic moment, right? Where this idea kind of comes to an end in the very last measure for us. So, bringing out crescendos. Using long notes, make the end of the long note, the dotted quarter, in this case where the crescendo begins, make the beginning softer than the end of it. Just grow through that dotted quarter and use those eighth notes that follow to push the dynamic forward, right? So I'll start right there, measure 18, where the crescendo begins. I'll do the pickups, the B, B, A, right before, the 3/8 notes before. 2-measure crescendo, always moving forward in volume, getting louder every moment. And the figures, it comes up twice in here, 2 before the end, which is measure 20, and before that in measure 12. Boom, 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 boom. This is a standard tango figure, right? So bring it out. Make sure we're right on the and it sounds nice and big and confident, because this is sort of that it's part of that tango dance, this move, this gesture, this musical gesture that we perform if we're dancing the tango. Not that I can dance a tango, but this musical idea it should give us the feel of the tango right there. I'll start in measure 11, and I'm gonna really bring out that and 3, 4, 1. Slurred, we have a retake there, get back to the down bow, it makes it sound stronger. 2 before the end. Bringing it out again. This is sort of the closing idea of these phrases. So it's a cadential moment where the idea is coming to an end, and this is the exclamation point on the end of it. So, and 3, 4, 1, bring it out, and when we get to that 1, make it feel like we've arrived somewhere. This is the end of an idea. All right. So, dynamics, always huge. In the beginning, let's take a look at this really quick. In measure 5, it's got staccatos over the quarters. In the next measure, measure 6, we got staccatos over the quarters. Then suddenly, measure 7, they disappear. But it does say simile under there, underneath the bar line. That means those staccatos stay right there. It's the same thing. So just because those staccatos disappear on us doesn't mean they've disappeared, right? The simile tells us that articulation is still going on, and it's going until we get to our new musical idea, especially once we get to, say, pick up to 14, when we become more lyrical. So, in the beginning, piano. The only thing loud should be the ands of 4s, popping out of the texture. We crescendo to our forte, D, da, full quarters, not short quarters anymore. Those staccatos are gone. D, bum, bum, ba da da dum. Drive into that, and now we change texture into 14. Bum 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 ba da 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 dum. Bum 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 bum. Smoother, more connected. Make it sing, and then bring that crescendo out, and with a nice big forte. Be careful of your timing, especially the half notes tied to the 8th note. Keep the metronome in your brain going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Always ready to get off of the tie and really articulate those eighth notes. Well, I hope you have fun practicing. This is a really fun piece. I hope you enjoy it. And there's a lot in there. Bring out as much as you can. Articulations, dynamics, staccatos to legatos. 2 different characters in here. Bring them out. Have fun practicing.